Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, the crew of the Honor managed to sneak back to their ship and patch some wounds, before having a confrontation with the Watcher. While in the cognitive realm, Sully catches a glimpse of a Watcher production facility on Avis.
Space intro.
Cody, I think that was your most moving intro yet.
His most moving non-intro.
Space.
Brought a tear to my eye. No, I'm going to let Mandy just cut in the intro and just I'll say it brought a tear to my eye. It's putting pressure on him to make it good now.
Last time, Sully did a thing and killed a thing.
Cool. Good job, Sully.
The hangar bay falls quiet as the combat ends. All of you have now dropped back out of the cognitive realm and are very wounded. Most of all, Jyla, who is on death's door, but I don't think anyone is looking particularly great. Ivana is still over in a corner, kind of pretending like she's wounded and rolling around, going, ow, ow, I've been shot so bad, so terrible, the shooting. What is everyone about?
Is the Watcher guy, obviously out in the real world, too? Do you, collapse or something?
Oh, that's a great question. So the chaotic flesh, which I need to... Okay, real quick brainstorm. Does anyone have an idea for a name for the chaotic flesh?
Chaotic flesh sounds pretty good.
Keth, if you will.
What's wrong with chaotic flesh?
Okay, so the chaotic flesh, because I will not do what Zach suggested, disintegrates, leaving behind a disassembled robot. You could clearly see where joints were meant to fit together, but had been broken apart by the chaotic flesh that had fused it all together, and after that disappeared, it was basically left in broken pieces, totally destroyed.
Okay, I think once Vi knows that the Watcher is, out of the picture, she is going to go over to Ivana and point her gun at her, just intimidating, guys. All right, I feel like we kept up our end of the bargain here, and now you need to get rid of that map now.
Oh, so you did. Look at that. I'm gonna say I was betting against you, but I'm sure I'm glad... What? Of course I was betting against you. I could see that look on your face. Yes, I didn't think you would succeed. That robot is a murder machine. One of your friends is almost dead, and the other one is Sully. Anyways, my point is, you're right, I did make a promise, so I guess, how do you want this to work? I have it stored on a personal computer? Do you want to put a magnet on it, or do you want me to just tell you that I deleted it? I could give you the computer if you'd like.
At this point, I would just prefer you to give us the computer, or I need to watch you destroy it.
Sure. Well, we can make our way to the, we can make our way to the rest of the ship. Not what I meant to say. We can make our way to my, oh my gosh. My quarters. It's quarters. That's what it's called on a ship.
My nickels. My dimes.
I understand why you might be at a loss for words. You've been in severe pain for the last several minutes. I don't know how you survived.
I was shot, but as long as the Watcher saw me fall down and that's the last thing it transmitted, that's all I really care about. There will be a discussion that we need to have about what happens next. I imagine you don't love the current state of things with the Interstellar Council. I don't either. So, enemy of my enemy is you guys.
You just can't say friend, can you?
The point is you're the enemy of my enemy. I think that gets across what I mean.
Wait. I was under the impression we were just getting rid of the Watcher for you. What makes you think we're going to try and take down or configure what the Interstellar Council is doing right now?
Well, I'll tell you what.
We've kind of been saying it across the galaxy for the last however long.
Mal, are you aware how many people we have left right now? Yeah, we have some other things to do first.
That's totally true. Look, how about this? Y'all are my prisoners for the time being. Understand that's in name only because we still have crew, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get on a tram. You'll be my prisoners, in air quote, if anyone gets on. We'll have a nice conversation about this on our way to deleting the map. How does that sound? Also,
sure.
We can try to find some medical attention for your friend. She looks pretty rough.
Please?
I mean, we would be very grateful for that, so
Okay, great.
sure.
So stop pointing your gun at me. We get on a tram. We take care of all that stuff.
Yeah, Vi holsters her gun again.
We would also like our other friends released.
Oh, the unconscious ones. Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. Do you have like a big forklift or something for the big guy, or?
Just give us the exact coordinates and we'll beam them onto our ship.
Okay. We can cross that bridge. Consider it done. But anyways, let's go delete a map. So she leads you to a tram similar to what you've used before to get around on ships this size. It's like a fast transport tube. You know, nothing huge, just kind of like a little car that you guys all hop into. So, the Watchers and the Interstellar Council. I am not opposed to further workings together for the time being between us. As I said, I feel that we have a common enemy, and all of you have proven yourselves to be fairly worthy. So let me just lay out some assets that we have, and then we can talk about maybe some solutions to some problems that we share. We are currently on the only unspectated ship of the Interstellar Council that is still in good graces with the Interstellar Council. This is a very unique situation that all of you killing this Watcher has put me in. It means I have a very heavily armed ship full of guns and fairly loyal, I think, troops that we can fly right up to the front door of the Interstellar Council without them batting an eye, because the last thing they knew from their Watcher is I was wounded in battle and took you guys into custody. So, the longer we keep that charade going, the more we can get done. The other thing we have is me, a relatively well-respected captain of an Interstellar Council vessel who is in a position to liberate some parts of the planet. And then we have the four of you, experts in fighting chaos in a way that I have yet to see. And I'm getting excited about potential promotions in my near future.
For letting us live?
Yeah, is that what's in it for you?
Oh, yeah. Sorry if I was unclear about that. Yes. If I am the one who rids the Interstellar Council of chaos and its evil clutches, I'm a hero. And also kind of the person very near the throne when we kill the previous leader.
You're a hero according to Outlaw standards, I guess, but like, who in the Interstellar Council is left to laud you as a savior?
Okay, so what I saw you guys do was kill a Watcher. Could you do that more?
Maybe.
I look at Sully.
We can, but it's not going to be easy. I know how we could potentially take them all out in one fell swoop, but something tells me it's going to be difficult, to say the least.
I totally believe that, and you 100% have all of my spiritual and emotional and somewhat physical support in that endeavor. So let the scenario play out. I roll up in my big ship. All of the other captains like me. None of us like having a Watcher on our ship. It's a little bit of a spit in the eye to be spied on. So all of a sudden, all of the Watchers stop working, and they get a communication from me that says, hey, the Watchers are gone. Chaos has been defeated. And in the interim, I'm kind of just keeping the council together.
I think what Jyla is asking is, are you aware of, would people in the Interstellar Council be open to chaos being defeated? It seemed like y'all had a pretty strong loyalty to chaos being on Avis last time we were there.
I think what I'm getting is that while politicians on Avis have maybe been more corrupted or more under the influence, the military has largely just been spied on, not necessarily corrupted. Is that right?
Okay, so if, chaos is...
So you come in and rid the military of their spies, and then you make a grab for head of that military. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, I think Basically, I just would be. Does that make sense? At some point, I'm trying to think of the right way to put this.
You're staging a coup.
I would have the biggest ship with the most guns. I mean, coup is such a harsh word for liberating the Interstellar Council from chaos and then simply ensuring that the Interstellar Council continues to function in the interim until such time as I decide to stop doing that. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, sounds like a military dictatorship to me. Welcome, madam.
No, it's just it's a cooperation between the military and what's best for the Interstellar. Sully was a keeper. They were basically military dictators. That's what we were. I mean, come on. Call it by what it is.
That's what I'm saying you should do, is call it a military dictatorship. Anyway.
It feels like you're judging.
I'm not really here to pass judgment, just want to hear you be totally transparent about what's happening. And us to be going in eyes wide open with who we're partnering with here.
I'm promoting myself.
I got that.
Yeah, no, that part you made very clear. Then I want the question answered. Are there people within the Interstellar Council who would be open to this and it wouldn't just immediately go back to chaos? Because not everybody's infected.
Most people aren't. Most people are following orders or swept up by the quite excellent propaganda that we utilize to recruit a large number of people.
I did like the little expo you did, I will say.
Did you see it? Oh, you were there, right. Yeah. I wasn't. I was out doing my job.
Good for you.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about that.
Well, they kind of... Okay, sorry, out of game. They would know that you were there because you left very loudly with most of the keepers.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was laughing at her reaction to it.
Right, I like the robot part. The big mechs. That was super fun. So, I mean, maybe keep putting that in your propaganda, because that sure got me. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Do you want to join? I mean, you could quit. Yeah, it's an option. I'm hiring.
Don't outlaw the outlaws.
I pay nothing, and you'll probably die. Seems to be your MO.
I mean, those benefits don't really feel like a downgrade at all, Jyla.
Right, I already have a sweet deal like that, so, thanks.
You could all just quit being outlaws and instead be the new keepers of the Interstellar Council.
I don't... Doesn't Keepers have like a religious thing to it? I'm not very in touch with that part of myself.
What is a name, is my point. Alright, so, as I said, my proposition. I will delete the map for you, and then instead of going on your merry little way, we all stay on board this ship together, you as my prisoners. I report back to home base that, hey, in the course of the horrible melee between the Outlaws and the Watcher, I was wounded, the Watcher was destroyed, but then I heroically was able to stun all of you with some crack team of people that will agree to lie about it. We have you in custody and when we're bringing you back to Avis, right?
Right. Follow-up question.
Sure.
Is there any chance of them sending another one of those Watchers out there on like a fast ship to make sure you're being looked after?
Honestly, I had not considered that as a possibility. So here's what's going to happen. If that happens, weapons malfunction. It gets blown up. Or I miss it. Accidents happen in space. I could probably disable a ship and make it look like it was an accident, so... But I doubt it, too. Probably not. I think that they would trust me to bring... I have been an upstanding captain for the Interstellar Council for a long time, so I think they would trust me to come back home and do what I'm supposed to do. Then we come back, and instead of me delivering you into their custody, we blockade the whole planet. We attack whatever thing you guys have to do to keep the Watchers. That's frankly out of my hands. Overthrow the current... Prime Counselor? Hang on. Let me get the name right. Overthrow the current Supreme Counselor. Take him into custody. Whatever happens there, whatever. And then I just become the interim Supreme Counselor of the Interstellar Council. And everything goes back to the happy Interstellar Council that we all know and loved. and you guys made a new friend.
Sure. What could go wrong?
You could die trying to kill all the Watchers, and I'll blame you for it.
Well, by that point, it'll be moot, right? I'll be dead.
No, because what's going to happen is you're going to destroy the Watchers, and if you don't, I'm going to say you escaped, and I'll probably have one of you shoot me. Just like a playful shooting, in the arm or something.
Just a tickle.
Yeah, it's just something that looks good, but doesn't stop me from having, like, a pretty good presence on screen, which I'm hoping to use in the near future.
Well, I suppose we can give it a shot. Sully, where do we need to get to, you think, to take on Chaos a bit more head-to-head?
Do I know, like, an exact location?
So you have a photograph of what it looks like, right? Or, you know what the building looks like, you know the structure. You don't necessarily have an exact location, but the closer you get, this will show up as like a hot zone of chaos energy in your mind. So it will be findable once you're there.
So there'll be a quest marker on his map.
Yeah. This will be fairly obvious. If you turn on your eagle vision, this is going to be the brightest light kind of thing.
I was going to make that joke, too.
Yeah.
In the last episode, you did say it was over the capital city.
It is, but I guess
within
what I
the
mean
city,
is the capital. Yeah, like
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that, like, continuity.
and
anyway.
I guess, like, in my mind, Avis has got that Coruscant vibe where it's, like,
That's fair. It's all city.
Capital City is the planet.
Yeah.
I have a heading for it. As with all of my Spagic, it will be
Still won't.
more clear as we get there. I can't give you GPS coordinates since I've never seen this building before, but it's one of those, we'll know it when I see it, and I have a pull pulling me in that direction to eradicate it, so.
That's fine. I trust you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Before we, like, really officially agree to do this, Sully, do you think there is actually, because I'm sure you can see things we can't, do you think there is actually a way we could take this down with just who we've got?
It's not going to be easy.
It never is.
But do we really have the numbers to risk on everyone? Like, realistically, is the difference between the four of us who are good at this, who have done this for a long time, who are the de facto experts on chaos. Like, is there a difference between the four of us doing it or having another 10 people with us, really?
Well, it's not that. I think the difference is, do we think the Outlaws could afford to lose us at this point? If that is going to happen, just... if this doesn't go well, I don't know where they're going to be at. That's all. So if you say you've got a heading and you think this is something that we're qualified to take care of, then let's do it. Because it sounds like this is the best case scenario we're going to have to go in and do this.
I think the problem I have is that I don't know where the Outlaws are if we don't do this. This is a real shot we have. The opening has presented itself that we could take care of chaos in a very real way. And if we don't take advantage of this, I don't think we're ever going to get an opportunity again, and we're just going to die off as we are continually hunted.
Yeah, well, and if it doesn't go well, then basically the same thing. So, yeah. Okay, let's do it.
I gotta say, I love a low-risk suicide mission for me. It's great.
Yeah, good for you.
It is! I'm having a great day. Anyways, I think we've arrived. The door slides open to a very fancy room. It's large for what would be quarters on a ship like this. You know, like space is a concern on anything that is floating through space. And these quarters are lavish and massive. There's, like, lounging areas and a private kitchen and, like, vid screens. Feels like they're always called vid screens. Probably also, like, an actual, like, clear view out of the ship, so you can see empty space. And then sitting on, like, a desk in a corner, you can see an actual, rather odd computer that is not connected to anything, that, like, has enough storage that it could pull all of the information off of a ship. She just goes, well, there it is. Help yourselves. She sits down in a chair and goes, can I maybe offer somebody a drink? Some food? I get all the best stuff here, of course.
You get hot wings? I could use some buffalo wings right now.
Yes, the wings, named after the buffalo constellation, that are traditionally spicy.
Right, yeah.
And made from what I guess is chicken that exists now. She makes buffalo wings.
Chickens are everywhere.
The regional New York, or the regional, Buffalo, New York delicacy.
I just also is that what they're named after?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
didn't
just
know
thought
that.
it was a stupid name.
Yeah. It was because there was a bar in Buffalo that made them because they had leftover chicken wings. Anyways, this is not the chicken wing podcast.
Now it is.
and they're definitely not made of chicken. They're made of something that tastes like chicken. And we've all heard these ancient tales of something called a chicken that everything tastes like, but we've never they don't exist.
It's made of spicken, Vinny.
No.
Space chicken.
Yeah, space chicken.
That's the worst one yet.
It's meat substitute. Tastes like chicken TM.
I, of course, don't use meat substitute. I'm the captain of a ship. I use real meat. I get it, of course.
Well, that's why I'm ordering from you, because Outlaws sure don't have it.
She gets out freeze-dried chicken wings and puts them in, an instant boiler with sauce flavorant, and presents them to you on a plate. They're quite good.
Do I heal a point because it's been so long since I've had chicken wings?
Caitlin, do you think this is Wolfenstein? You know what? Fine. Yes, you heal 1 point because apparently this is Castlevania and wall meat heals you.
It's Skyrim. You just pause, eat a whole bunch of cheese, and you're better.
Hey, Kaylin, you should order a cheese wheel. That will heal you more.
There you go. One unchecked box. You can now get hit twice and not die.
Thank you, chicken. Thank you, Cody.
I also like how, Caitlin's from, the fancy lad faction, and what is the first food that she picks? Chicken wings.
It makes sense for a character.
It does, but it doesn't make sense for her faction.
That's why she's not in it anymore.
We traded in everything.
Yeah, the chicken wings are a pretty big commodity, actually. We gotta stop talking about chicken wings. I meant that more to, establish that she was, being ostentatiously comfortable and informal to kind of indicate that she's very cavalier in this circumstance that's kind of dire for you guys.
And I took her up on it.
We didn't have to go into a whole chicken wing thing. That wasn't the point. Anyways, the computer's sitting over there in a corner. Anyone want to do anything with that, or...
My hands are all sticky, so...
Oh my gosh! Caitlin's off the podcast!
Kaylin, it's kind of disappointing that this is the first time you're off the podcast, because I've done it many times by calling his bad guy Spoocifer, and...
I mean, getting kicked off for chicken wings is pretty good.
I am going to kill all of you. There's a computer with the location of the remaining outlaws in a corner. Please, God.
Okay, I'll do something. Could I have some tea? Do you have any Earl Grey?
She hands you a cup of Earl Grey tea and doesn't spit in it.
Is that hot or cold, Sully? How do you take it?
I think he takes it warm.
Lukewarm.
Not lukewarm, warm.
Oh my God.
Not hot, but
Okay,
Christ, this is getting cut out.
Vi is gonna go to the computer. She's gonna pull up the map to make sure it is on there. Sure, I'm sure she has a magnet to break it, disabled it, whatever.
Cool. Roll plus smarts.
Okay. Or whatever space-related tool to disable electronics.
You have a drill gun. I assume it's the sonic screwdriver, so I'm fine with it.
what can it do? Literally anything.
Whatever the rule says,
That's sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8.
Okay, so with an 8, you're able to just delete everything off of this machine, so whatever was on here is now gone. Alright, I guess you weren't kidding around about just wanting to delete it. I don't want to say insulted, but that's fine, I got more of those.
More of those?
More of the computers, not more copies of your map. That would be dishonest of me.
You would, yeah.
Guys, I think this was a slip-up on Cody's part, not on the character's part.
This is neither. She's being
Okay.
This is the character. This is not Cody.
I just don't want to spend 15 minutes yelling at this person for Cody doing a slip up where you...
No. If you're going into this this is a totally honest and straightforward good person, I have not done a good job characterizing them as a viciously mercurial and like aggressively climbing their own career person.
Vi like narrows her eyes at her. And how did you get it onto this computer in the first place? Do you have a flash drive?
No, I wired the machine on, well, actually I had a technician do it. They wired the machine into that spaceship, basically downloaded everything from any data storage anywhere on the ship, and then wiped everything on the ship. That way I could ensure that I had the only copy, because that was really important.
Great. Vi is going to, more or less use that computer to get into whatever, like, cloud system the ship has, and just do a double check to make sure it is stored nowhere else.
Roll plus cool, not because this is rolling plus cool because you're doing this right in front of her.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. That is a 10.
It has not been stored anywhere else. It seems like she is being honest, but she does, you said you don't care if she sees you do this?
No.
She watches you do this and kind of smiles and just says, "Remember, enemy of my enemy. I have no reason to figure out where the Outlaws are because I don't think you particularly pose a threat to me."
That's great and all, but you're still using the word enemy, so I just feel the need to double check.
That I don't blame you for. I would do the same thing.
And she logs out of gets out of whatever she was in.
Now, for the remainder of your time, as I said, technically my prisoners, but we can probably make people understand that you have a little bit more free reign, and I understand that some of you have suffered some terrible accidents, probably accidents while you attempted to escape and were caught. It's really sad that happened, so we can have our doctors look at you. Is there anything else that you need from me before we get to Avis? Any information I can give you? Anything like that?
Can I get some milk? It's really hot. Really, really hot.
You're bleeding, actively bleeding, and you want milk. Sure, you can have some milk.
Thanks.
You're so close to death when you're asking for this.
Would you mind if I, used, any of your equipment to see any of the, broadcasts that, Interstellar Council is putting out?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Sure. Yeah, you can watch whatever you want. What are you trying to learn?
So, Vi does not know about what Sully has seen, but she's done this before where it's just trying to get more information on exactly what's happening on the planet. See if they are actively saying join in our and our newscast is brought to you by the robots or whatever it is, where it's just what is happening, what is the current feel on the planet,
what level of infiltration there is.
Yeah, and I didn't get a straight answer out of her, but are people not happy with chaos being in charge? Is this
what's the morale yeah.
Yeah, or in the same way there were little chaos groups, are there now rebel groups that they are either reporting on or it seems like they're actively hiding the fact that there are issues, that kind of thing.
I like that. Okay, roll me some investigation.
12.
That is very good. Okay.
I'm very smart.
You turn on a just general news broadcast, and it plays out as a private medic is sent up to look specifically at Jyla. So Jyla's laying in a bed. They're doing not exactly surgery, but also not exactly not very good field medic work, trying to kind of stabilize Jyla specifically. And probably then would also eventually get around to Sully and
Me too, I would hope.
Yeah, really all of you except Mal, who are very hurt. So they're like staunching wounds, doing stitches, ice packs on everywhere, whatever. So you just kind of casually turn on just whatever like the news broadcast from Avis is. Technology being what it is, it's actually very easy to get like constant, I would call it like almost scanned composite 3D footage. So you're able to like watch this as like a map in like a holo table. And the commentary is basically like running information about one basically constant low-level violence on the city streets, right? So Avis, from where you were last time, looked like a utopian future city of mixed forest and like beautiful structures. Now it's mostly like burning, smoke rising from the ground, like trees are gone. The view at the street is maybe not that different, but just in general, there's a lot more debris on the ground. It's a lot more run down. But most noticeable is the prevalence of violence and aggression that is just kind of everywhere. Like, you can see people just kind of like fighting in the streets, and it's not always very clear over what. Frequently, these are people in military uniforms. So, like, at a street level, basically everyone is brawling and fighting all the time, like, almost dueling, if that makes sense. Think like, the Montagues and the Capulets in Romeo and Juliet, where they're, like, just having street brawls all the time over nothing. Mm-hmm. Where they're like, get out my longsword, we're gonna go have a fight.
So more like 18th and 19th century France, not 1920s Chicago.
I think those were maybe not wholly dissimilar in some ways.
Okay.
But
does it seem to be like there's two specific types or groups fighting?
So, no, not so much. There are many groups fighting over basically anything. What is a distinct group is you can still see some personnel, like, attempting to keep peace in some ways. Like, there's like humanitarian workers out on the streets, right? Trying to be like, okay, we're trying to get people into hospitals who are hurt. Violence is everywhere. Maybe trying to stop conflicts, but not like getting into fights. Just kind of trying to be like de-escalating. You can occasionally see these people running around. You can see people that look like Sully attempting to like quell conflicts before they turn into like 30-person street melees. And then the last thing that you see is the remaining buildings that are pristine and immaculate are the military headquarters and the Interstellar Council like chambers themselves. Almost nobody is there that is not very high ranking or like an actual official, but instead it is swarming with watchers who frequently are like just killing people that are getting too close. Like, just immediate violence for anyone that attempts to, like, run up or, misbehaves in that area. It's, like, brutal violence that's keeping all of this chaos in the city at bay. What you decidedly do not see is people with black eyes.
Okay.
So it's just the Watchers, essentially?
The Watchers, are, like, the chaos grown. There's chaotic flesh holding them together.
Right.
But you don't see people that are corrupted by chaos.
And remind me, originally, when we were on Avis and they got voted into the Interstellar Council, were any of the politicians like actually infected or no?
Chaos was voted in as a member of the Interstellar Council, the life form that is chaos, right? Which is like a hive-minded super intelligence.
Right.
They were given an equal part in the council, similar to like Sully's race or anyone else's race who's a member of the Interstellar Council, because it's like a huge group.
Yeah.
That being said, it seemed like the Supreme Counselor of the Interstellar Council was very much, if not corrupted by, complicit with chaos.
Right. Okay.
Understanding here that there is a difference between someone who hears the rhetoric and is sold on it, and someone who is being directly manipulated.
Right. Yeah.
You don't see people being directly manipulated. You see a society that has bought the rhetoric.
Yeah.
So, like, this is, like, basically a shift from the Interstellar Council seeming like a place that, like, Sully would very much be at home at, to the Interstellar Council being, like, just fully Mad Max from the last time you were there, which was maybe, a year and a half ago.
Well, Sully, I really hope your wherever you're sensing chaos isn't that council building, because I think we'd have a pretty hard time getting in there.
Is it that building, Cody?
You do not know. So you're...
Does it look like the building in my vision?
Oh, sorry. No, it does not. Now, that being said, it is not impossible that building would be somewhere near there, but you do not immediately see the giant manufacturing center as one of the heavily guarded areas. You see a ton of watchers around, but you don't see them being made in this news broadcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess in terms of, like, your magical ability to sense where it would be, you gotta be closer.
Yeah, I presumed that. So do we want to do anything else before, while we're getting healed? Because I want to drop us into the cognitive realm to talk and plan.
Ooh, that is an idea that I did not know you would have, but is very smart.
I don't want to sit here and talk about all of our plans in front of double back-crossing backstabber McGee over there.
I don't have anything else, so.
I don't think so.
Would you maybe like some blue cheese dipping sauce?
I would love some.
So would I. Anyways.
If you give Jyla some chicken wings, she's going to ask for some blue cheese dipping sauce.
She's going to ask you for a glass of milk. If you give her the milk, she'll want some blue cheese dipping sauce to go with.
What I'm finding out is that you're like a stray mutt. It's like I can't give you a bowl of food because 5 seconds later it's become a cooking podcast.
What I've discovered is Cody gives us moments to roleplay and then gets mad when we roleplay.
I think the only thing worse I could have done is given Caitlin an infant that she could possibly put in some kind of baby holding device. Then that would just be like, we're done. That's it. That's the whole podcast now.
Well, you baby, we're in space.
No, I think it would have been worse had, what's her name?
Ivana.
Had Ivana been Mormon and asked for said cooking stuff, we would be gone.
Also true. Anyways, these bits are getting cut out, I think. So, Sully, you're the first one to, get into a meditative stance and slip easily into the cognitive realm, as has now become second nature. Pulling the rest of your friends in is a little bit challenging at times, I think specifically for Vika and Mal, but eventually you're able to tug everyone into the cognitive realm. All of you just look as though you're taking naps on some very comfy couches. And alright, you're in a, basically at this point, mostly empty white space, just kind of like the loading screen in the Matrix, where they get guns, except for you can see some faint glowing gold shadows of crew members milling around the ship.
I still don't like that.
I form us chairs.
Now you have chairs, too.
Wait, we can make anything in here, right?
Yes.
Can we make food?
I don't think it will sustain you in the same way that real food does, but I have not tried. Usually I'm being attacked by a chaos monster when I'm in here, so...
Sully, you'd be a lot faster at this than I am. Can you pull up a table so we can, kind of map this out?
Can I form basically our captain's quarters, not captain's quarters, our officer's quarters on the honor?
Yeah, the officer's lounge that was hidden behind the refrigerator? Absolutely.
I do that.
Best extra space ever.
And let there be lounge space.
So, this thing that we're fighting, there seems to be a hub that attaches to all the eyes. It would appear to be in a manufacturing plant that is making hundreds of these watchers.
Great. So that's even worse than what looks like is going on at the Capitol. Or not the Capitol, the council building.
Yes, I didn't say it was an easy shot we're taking, but I think it's the only play we have.
So obviously we don't want to fight these watchers because, like you said, there's hundreds of them, and just one of them nearly killed us.
I think we will go in a little bit more prepared. I'm not quite sure what that means if we just have Jyla make a big spacing bomb, or if we have some other tactics. But, as I said, this is not going to be easy. However, this has the other benefit of striking the Galactic Alliance and Imposition, or freeing both of them in one fell swoop.
How so?
If Chaos is no longer controlling them, and we control the military of the Interstellar Council, we now have control of all factions. Well, 3 factions.
That is assuming we can actually, air quotes, he does air quotes, control Ivana. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her.
Next thing is we're not instilling Ivana. And I don't want to say we're going to murder her, but we're getting rid of her one way or the other, and we're going to install Camilla.
I could get behind that. Is Camilla, though?
I mean, that is a question to ask Camilla, but she wants to remain a keeper in the Interstellar Council. And if there's anyone I trust to handle this, is the keepers who ran away from Chaos and were not tainted by it.
Right. Good luck convincing her, though. I feel like she might be a hard sell. I would fully support her doing it, though. I wouldn't want anybody else, I don't think.
I mean, push come to shove, I'm basically her god, and I can tell her to do it, so.
Oh, that feels bad. But also, maybe, throw this suggestion out there, we at least confer with her and see if there's somebody who would be a good fit. If she feels like it's herself, great. But I can't imagine after everything that's gone down, she would necessarily want to step in a situation where she's going to have to rebuild the military. Well, not rebuild, but, reorganize and restructure the entire Interstellar Council.
It's a big job, yeah.
I don't think running the Outlaws is a small job either, though, so. But that's for her to decide and not for us to conjecture.
Well, that's my point, is it's a big job. I think speaking with people who have been who were a part of the Interstellar Council up until Chaos being installed is a good idea to figure out who they think would be or what would be a good way to get who and what would be a good, you know what I mean, who we can put in that position and how we should go about doing that.
But yes, but I do not plan on leaving Ivana in any position to have any amount of control or power, because I feel that we will be dead very quickly if we leave that out there.
I don't think your instincts are wrong, but I don't know how well we can really keep her out of a position when we don't have a whole lot of pull ourselves at the moment. But that's something that we can cross once we get to that point of, why don't we, let's figure out how to get to the point of installing someone in that position. Cody, yes. Remind me. So
I forgot I had to be part of this.
Last time we were on Avis, no ships are landing on the planet. Ships are going to gravity elevators?
So on any planet, the way the game works, basically, if you're landing on a planet, like flying through the atmosphere in a ship, and not taking the gravity elevator of said planet, that is perceived as kicking the door down.
I guess my question is, has that changed on Avis because of the change in leadership? Are military ships being able to get closer to the planet?
Well, it's not a matter of getting closer or not getting closer. It's a matter of flying through the atmosphere is far more difficult than landing on... So basically, gravity elevators are essentially roads from space to the surface of a planet, right? It would be the equivalent of driving your car across someone's backyard to not go through the gravity elevator. It means you don't have access to the planet, and you are doing something nefarious to do that.
It's reckless.
So... Yeah. So we would know this in game, which is why I'm trying to establish this out of game.
That is
right. Wait.
Yeah, sorry.
Right now, the order of operations would be: ship gets to Avis. We have to take a gravity elevator, which may or may not include the ship, to the planet's surface. Then we have to figure out how to get to the quote unquote hub that Sully's directed at, which out of game, it sounds like that's going to be the building where they're building the Watchers. Is that a correct assumption to make?
I would say the only thing that I would add to that is it is probably uncommon and difficult for a ship the size that you are on right now to fully land on the surface of a planet. Were it to do, it is made in space. It is meant to be in space. They have smaller craft that are meant to go up and down gravity elevators and shuttle crew and supplies back and forth to these ships.
Okay.
If a ship like
our Outlaws ship is small enough to go up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really you could fly to the surface of a planet. It's just as difficult as it is to get through.
It causes a lot of...
Yeah.
It causes panic and stress on the ship.
Yeah.
Definitely alert everybody.
Well, maybe, if you land someplace in the planet that's, that's a roll, right? That's a thing. And if you did it poorly, the result would be, why are you crash landing? Why did you just drive through our backyard, basically? When we have a perfectly good driveway, it seems like you're trying to hide something. Were a ship like the one you were on to engage with a planet, it would be like bombardment of the planet, not landing on the planet.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure my, rough visual of what we're going to have to do in order to get to the hub is correct.
Well, anything else we should discuss while prying ears aren't around?
I think it is going to be something to... Just killing the Watchers isn't going to completely remove the government, I don't think.
No, I think that's accurate. That's part 2, after we figure out how to get wherever you're leading us.
I think that taking care of the Watchers is more of a priority than uprooting the government and helping with a coup.
Okay, so I wonder how willing Ivana's crew is going to be. And the only reason I say that is I'm wondering if we could use them as an excuse to get closer to wherever this hub is, because they are military. So if there's some kind of military transport or something that can get us closer, a little bit more protected, so we're not just wandering through the streets.
I like that plan. If we can be unnoticed for longer, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we can ask of Ivana is try to give us safe passage down the elevator and to where Sully's space radar is pointing us.
Spadar, if you will.
I won't. Whatever. I don't understand all this magic stuff. You know that.
Also, it's more of a magic radar than a space radar, for being completely honest.
Regardless, I think that's a fine plan, is to have some sort of guise that we're getting on a planet under.
We should also let the Outlaws know that what we're doing and how we are most likely not coming back, or we're coming back as heroes.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest figuring, well, if Ivana, if we can figure out a way to contact without Ivana listening in, I'll feel better. But I agree.
I mean, I could try to reach out like this, but I've never tried to reach across the cosmos to contact someone, so.
It sounds like we got a little bit of time if you're able to do so. Otherwise, I'll figure out a way to scramble information to her.
I'm definitely curious to see if you can do this. Reach out across the galaxy and talk to people. That'd be incredible.
And then I might be wrong, but I assume coming down as a military transport, it's going to look a lot less awkward to bring bombs down to the planet. Otherwise, we may need to find a way to hide those if that's how we want to try to take out the Watcher.
Right. Hopefully we can be on something that has a little firepower built in, perhaps.
Ooh, I really like that idea. Okay. Add that to the list of things to ask Ivana for.
And, of course, have a little extra on the side.
Oh, of course.
I mean, could we go at this factory with a spaceship?
Just run it in to the building?
That's one way to start the fight. I don't think that will completely take out this infestation, but...
Just to make sure I understand what you're saying, we would get on some kind of spacecraft and crash into the building with ourselves in it?
Or we have Jyla loaded to the brim with every type of bomb she can imagine, and then hit autopilot and target the building.
No, that's a good idea too, but I'm not saying that one's a bad idea, but then how do we so that would mean we would have to trust, I would assume, Ivana to do that so that we can get down to the ground level and get in.
Or we use our teleporter. I don't know the range on it, but
I would have to double check and see what that is because I don't know off the top of my head either.
Or if we want to go very reckless, we can take a ship with a teleporter, and right before we run into the building, we all teleport out.
I don't like the odds on that.
It seems like a lot of risk, but I'm proud of you for thinking of it, Sully. You know, see, 6 months ago, that wouldn't even have crossed your mind. I like your moxie.
And Sully, I'd like to point out, you got to be careful about your words. You said load up a ship with every type of bomb John can think of. I don't think there's a ship big enough to contain that.
I like a challenge.
We probably wouldn't be able to fit in the ship, I think.
I think the thing is, regardless of how we slice and dice this, there's insurmountable risks that we are taking. Whether we play fast and loose or try to be cautious, we are kicking in Chaos's front door one way or another, and he is going to be quite upset. So I'm not too worried about if we blow up a little early or a little late.
No. I'm not saying that's a problem. I think it's just getting the timing a little bit right. So it's not like the spacecraft, if we decide to do that, is crashing way before we're able to get close.
Right.
Because that's just going to bring more people around.
That's my concern, is that if we do something too early, that it will just be useless, more or less.
Well, we can discuss how we want to time that. My question is, that takes out the sort of like physical plant, but is there like a cognitive realm component to these things too that would need to be rooted out as well?
They get taken out at the same time, right?
They can be taken out at the same time, but I think they have a strong tie to the cognitive realm, which will help keep sustaining them unless I go in and take them out there as well.
Okay, so we do have to take them out on both fronts.
Most likely. Cody, do we know that?
That is not something that you would know. It's something that you can make an educated guess on and have a thought on, but I don't think it's something that you would know.
Okay. So far, every time we've killed one of these things, I have been in the cognitive realm. I don't want to fight the toughest one we've ever done and presume that the physical realm will be enough.
Okay, so in that case, I'm more liking the idea of a spacecraft crashing in to hit the real world version. I would assume we would want to do what we kind of did this last time with the Watcher and not send you into the cognitive realm alone.
Probably not. It's going to be worse, not better.
And I don't know what your range is on the cognitive realm, but we are also going to want to set you up in a space where you're safe and whoever is with you is safe before the rest of us charge in. Unless we're all in the cognitive realm, in which case we would all need to find a safe zone.
That brings up a good question. How far can we travel away from our bodies in here?
No idea.
Cody. The way that the cognitive realm has worked before, and we wouldn't necessarily, well, the rest of us, other than Sully, wouldn't necessarily know this. I know, like, the space is relative, right? You still have to be close. So, like how Sully was fighting the dragon over Roke.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't right next to the ship, right?
You were not. I get what you're asking. Are you, like, saying, could you, like, drop into the cognitive realm kind of far away and then walk over, basically?
I'm saying, okay, hypothetically, if Sully stayed on Ivana's ship, would he be able to fight what was on the planet if there is a cognitive realm version of it there? How close do we need to be?
It's a really good question that I don't have an immediate answer for.
Okay.
I think my answer would honestly be that doesn't feel like in the spirit of the thing to be like, I'm just going to sit on the ship and basically never move again because I don't technically have to. That feels like a kind of roundabout way around the problem, I guess.
Well, what I was going to suggest too, the way that we can kind of talk out of this is as soon as we're done destroying them, we're going to have to like immediately move into whatever we need to do to state, like to instate someone or to put someone in the council position.
Yeah.
So we're going to need everybody, like, I guess technically on planet anyway, but I was just curious what that all,
I guess, like,
what the range meant.
It's tricky, right? Because I just don't think I have a really solid answer for, like, not immediately in my head do I know how close you have to be before you're close enough to interact with something in the cognitive realm.
Okay.
But I think being on the ship is pretty far. I think that feels like not right.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
No, that's totally fair. Trying to think of the way to jump in.
Also, Cody, I have a question. Is it bad to split the party to like half physical, half cognitive?
No, I don't think so. Not necessarily, anyways.
Well, I just want to make sure that it's not like you planned us all to fight in a certain area and we're like splitting it up so we're going to get stomped.
No, I think... Let me think about that a little bit. I guess, like, pulling the curtain back, and Mandy, you can decide how much of this we can keep. Initially, when there was this split of the cognitive realm and the not cognitive realm, I had not considered it being a possibility for anybody but you. So in my mind, it was far more of a matter of keep Zach safe while he does something while he can't use his body. It was a lot more of like the Avatar protect Aang while he's doing something magic.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of being pulled into the cognitive realm and using your friends in that way. I think that works. It's just a change. So in my head, I have an answer for that, which is like, it doesn't really make sense because frequently you're attacking the same health bar, so there's no advantage of going into the cognitive realm. But I will say specifically for this, it's not going to be as straightforward as there is one giant watcher that you need to fight, and then you go into the cognitive realm, and there's just another giant watcher that you have to fight there as well. It's not going to be that uniform, you know?
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, you've had things in the cognitive realm before where there are, like, buildings built there and, like, structures and more creatures than you can see necessarily in the physical world. So you're not just going to have another watcher fight as the boss fight here. So I guess my answer there is I need to... that type of splitting the party for me does not feel like the type of splitting the party that I have a problem with, where you're working on separate goals. That feels reasonable. I don't have a problem with that, and you won't be punished for it.
Okay.
The thing that did happen recently where I was like, hey, just keep this in mind, was when you were totally by yourself fighting the Watcher alone. That was like, that is a bad idea. Similarly, you going alone to take care of whatever is this factory totally by yourself, bad idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got you. I just wanted to make sure we weren't barking up the wrong tree and been like, all four of us.
No. I would say so far you're not. And I would say, like, when I talk about splitting the party, I would have said, like, and not that you were doing something wrong. I understand why it happened the way it did. It was like role play happened. But you fighting the Watcher alone, that would have been like splitting the party. It's like a thing to avoid.
I also thought the Watcher was going to show up physically a lot faster than he did.
Yeah, right. No, I totally understand what happened.
I wasn't planning on 1v1ing him the whole time. I'm like, oh, I'll have...
No, and you didn't dig in your heels. There was a reason we talked about it, and I was just like, hey, this is a bad idea, because I can understand I got what happened there and why, so it was like a fair... I think it was handled correctly, but that is like the, okay, shoot, this conflict is really hard kind of result of having less players than should have been there, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a really long answer for no, that's not splitting the party. It's okay.
Right, well, I think we should probably rest up before we take on this planet. Anybody want to help me build some bombs?
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for this show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and in the public domain. If you like this show, you can check out more of our actual play podcasts at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or on Podbean. You can also interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Play videos under our YouTube channel, the Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at wandering_gamers. Now remember, it's not the outlaws that make trouble, it's trouble that makes the outlaws.